the U.S. Open. There have been some exciting headlines so far at the U.S. Open. Alec Baldwin catching a ball in the stands. 15-year-old CC Bellis, the youngest player to win a match at the Open since 1996. But arguably, guys, the biggest story was when Michael Jordan watching Roger Federer play last night.
You know, he is a good athlete. I know he was a basketball player at one time, so I know he can get up a little bit.
What have you enjoyed about watching this first set so far with Roger?
Well, you know, in all honesty, I think he's looked so smooth. You know, I've seen him on TV. I've seen a lot of tennis on TV, but you never really understand how smooth and how relaxed and how fundamentally sound that he can make this game, make it look. And I'm fascinated with how smooth he looks good in the shoes, without a doubt, but he makes the shoes look a lot better.
He looks good in the shoes. He's talking about the combo shoe of the tennis and the Jordan. Jordan with a very peaceful tone and presence. Fed's hitting coach told me that when they had dinner last night, Monday night rather, it was more of a question and answer session. Fed trying to soak up all he could, asking Jordan about being great and how he would be able to keep that up. Clearly motivation for Roger Federer as he tries to win his 6th U.S. Open title. Skip, you're watching this last night. Your reaction?
Stephen A. Smith, I was watching this live, and I started texting with a couple of friends who were there live at Arthur Ashe Stadium. And one texted me that the energy for Michael Jordan was far greater than the energy for Federer's first-round match. Another texted that the focus in that jam-packed stadium was more on Michael Jordan than on Roger Federer. And I sat back finally at the end of the night, and I thought, Michael Jordan is 51 years of age, and it feels like he just won the NBA championship last June. It feels like it was just the other night that he made that shot and held the pose in Utah to win his 6th NBA title and his 6th NBA Finals MVP. And I'm thinking, what is going on here? How is this man... we all agree, greatest of all time, but he's still hot today. Like he's on the top of the hot list, man. It's like he's a big current sports star. And then I start thinking about the shoes, the Air Jordans, the most famous sneaker ever. And I'm thinking, do the shoes keep Michael in the public eye, or does he keep the shoes at the top of the must-buy list year after year after year? I don't know, but I've never seen anything like it, and it just cinches the fact this man's the greatest of all time, even off the court. He's just like he still looms over all of sports. At age 51, he can walk into Arthur Ashe Stadium. It's tennis, for God's sake.
And there's
all
like
of a
Jordan.
Sudden, it's Jordan. And Jordan took over the night from arguably the greatest of all time in tennis, Roger Federer.
Yeah.
Wow.
You posed the question. You said, is it the shoes or is it Jordan? It's a little bit of both, but probably more Jordan than anybody.
I don't know.
Stephen A., like I said earlier, he was so peaceful. He just seemed like an ambassador. He was so great. When you watched him there last night, did you get the same feeling Skip got?
I get the same feeling whenever I'm around him, whenever I talk to him, whenever I see him. He's the greatest ever, and he's the greatest on so many levels. He's a great winner. He's a great competitor. He had an assassin's mentality, but he's also personable and cool. Yeah. I mean, he's the kind of guy that off the court, you get around him, he's very relatable, very personable, even though he's protected and insulated as well he should be because he's MJ. The reality is that he's the kind of guy that you could go up to and rap to, and he's just a down-to-earth brother. He's one of the people to consider how we know what Magic Johnson and Larry Bird did in terms of transcending or elevating the sport of the NBA to another level. But it is no doubt that the game was globalized because of Air Jordan. Michael Jordan took the game global. He's an iconic international figure. He's just one of the greatest you have ever seen. And then you consider some of the things that he did, the way he dressed, the way he walked, the way he carried himself, the way he spoke, the respect and decorum that he exhibited. Some of the things, the rivalries with Isaiah Thomas and others, you never saw him act out of pocket. You never saw him do things to get himself ejected. You never saw him, even though Reggie Miller almost tempted him to punch Reggie Miller in the face one time. You just see a lot of different things. Michael Jordan wasn't just a great champion. He was such a figure that you found yourself wanting to emulate him in a multitude of ways. And then you see him now to be in his 50s, to look good, to just have twins, to have a lovely, beautiful wife and a new family. Everything that he's done, he's a businessman, an elite businessman. Everything that he has done, he has protected himself, he's elevated himself, he's transcended himself in the sport to another level, and more importantly, he's taken professional athletes and he facilitated a movement where they're thinking not just about themselves and the game, but they're thinking about branding more and more. They're thinking about making business decisions, which facilitates them acting and conducting themselves even better, which is better for all of us in our society. So he's Michael Jordan for a reason, man. He's MJ, and we always thought that there was only one MJ with Michael Jackson. Yep. There's only one MJ. It's MJ. His name is Michael Jordan.
Okay, but are you a little surprised that at age 51 he is still treated like a current superstar, to the point that if let's take Joe Montana, greatest quarterback of all time, if he'd walked into Arthur Ashe last night, I think he would have just been another face in the crowd, a famous face, but just a face. If Cal Ripken had walked in last night, would it have really moved the needle? I don't know. Not really.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying that for me, it's no surprise because I'm around Michael Jordan enough to see how he's treated. It's customary for me. It's ordinary. It's what happens all the time wherever he goes. When he walks, I mean, he can go to Vegas. He can go. This is the biggest thing that I could tell you. I'm telling you right now, Skip, Michael Jordan can walk into the hood with nothing but gangsters around. It doesn't matter whether it's black, Hispanic, whatever. He can walk into the hood and they will part like it is the Red Sea. Michael Jordan is in the house. He is that kind of figure.
Okay, is he still more famous than LeBron or Kobe or KD?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Now that's a mouthful.
Let me say this. They may have the fame, but none of their respect will eclipse the respect that Michael Jordan has.
Well said. Yeah. I agree with that. You were shocked by it. You were shocked by it.
I still am, and I'm the biggest Jordan fan. And I had the pleasure of covering him in Chicago and getting to know the man. And I get all the things you're saying about being in his presence. Although when I'm in his presence, when I used to be in Chicago especially, he was like just another human to me. It didn't seem extraordinary to talk to Michael Jordan because he was just a cool guy. But his presence wasn't such.
Well, did you see anybody?
What's that?
Do you see anybody in the game right now that has what Michael Jordan had?
No.
No.
And there's some star power that he generates by mere presence that's almost inexplicable, and it endures to the point that wherever he goes, he's still, at age 51, bigger than any current stars. Yeah. And these are big stars we're talking about in LeBron and Kobe and Kevin Durant, right?
Hey, well, you said something that was really interesting. You said you were texting people. My girlfriend sent me a message. She said everyone was trying to position themselves where he was. If he's going to be here, they were like, hi. You know, including fans that, are famous people, other tennis players. They were like, I know you're not here to see us, but can we? She said there was a line out the door to get an autograph from Michael Jordan. I mean, it's huge. So I guess this enduring power.
Tennis we're talking about.
We're talking about tennis. Right. Yes, international tennis.
Yeah.
Stephen A. well said about MJ, because he's the MJ. We leave it